Shout out to Kop-Ish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
All the good work
the
up.
two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kop-Ish.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're watching this. Thank you very much for joining us back on Team Kop-Ish for the live preview between Leeds United and Liverpool Football Club. And we are back with our brother from another channel, Leeds fan, the best Leeds fan we know. Maybe I'm being biased, but I don't care at this point. Kagey, how are you, my bro?
Yeah, man, I'm all good, man. And shout out to everyone in the Kop-Ish community. Nice to see you all again.
It's nice having you on, man. Guys, before we get into the video as anything, please do smash the like button. But more importantly, guys, in the title of this video on YouTube, click on Kagey's name and hit subscribe. It won't even take you away from the video, guys. Kagey is on the road to 10k subscribers. Please, let's make a little steadway towards that today and tomorrow and Monday. And then even beyond that. Kagey's been supporting the channel for years now. So the least we can do is get him up to 10k. Kagey, it's been a while. How you been keeping, bro?
Yeah, man, I'm good, man. I see Donut in the chat there. Forgot we lost our home record to Leeds. I didn't forget.
Yeah, he reminded me pretty quickly of that. I didn't even finish my good morning, and he told me
there's
about
another one. Hey, you want to keep it fun, Carl? I know you love FSG. Well, they did something great. They did something great for my Penguins. You know, first time in 16 years we missed the playoffs. Yeah, and the next day they get rid of the GM and everyone. So well done to FSG. Great job. Thank you.
All right, let's stay there for 1 sec, because I don't know anything about that. That's hockey, right?
Yeah.
I don't know anything about hockey, how it works or anything. Have FSG been good for the Penguins so far? I know you said they just got rid of the GM. Have they been good so far, and have they showed that sort of ambition that they could potentially get up to the next level?
Yeah, the reason why they got rid of him is because he wasn't doing his job properly, and they give him a chance through the year to make trades and everything else that you can do in ice hockey, and he wasn't proactive. And that's something they said in their statement. They're looking for a GM that is proactive. We've still got a few players that are in there that can still do it at the top level, but he didn't support them enough. So now they've got rid of him pretty much the next day that we've not made it out the playoffs, and it's the first time in 16 years. It's a big deal. First time Pittsburgh have been out of the playoffs for 16 years. So they got rid of them. So that's efficient management from the top. Gotta say, man, well done to them. Great owners. Great owners.
KG back on his trolling from early, you know. So I got to ask you then, from the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Liverpool fans, be as harsh or as critical or as nice as you want here. Are we acting a bit spoiled? Are FSG not as bad as we think they are, or are we just going above and beyond because we want the creme de la creme? We can't always get that. What's your thoughts on it from the outside looking in?
Well, I mean, I don't know how long a lot of you guys have been on here, but I remember appearing on here a couple of years ago and warning you about this. Okay. I warned you about keeping players. I warned you about Klopp's certain loyalty to certain players, because it was much like Bielsa with players that we had. It's just on a different level. And because it's on a different level, I guess people didn't want to hear it. What have Leeds won? What have you done? But it's the same kind of thing. These coaches are high intense coaches who have a certain way of playing. And once those players lose one bit of the juice, once one cog is broken, the whole thing goes to kaput. You think about Liverpool's peak years where they played, you know what it was. You're attacking fullbacks with your creators, your three midfielders with your bulldogs getting the ball back, and your killers were Salah, Mane, Firmino. Once those things break, it's all done. That's why everyone's now talking about Trent being all of a sudden the worst defender in the world, which he isn't. Okay. But you needed to refresh the team. And this is what I was telling you before. I remember telling you, Minamino isn't it. Curtis Jones should be on loan somewhere. No, he shouldn't. He's the next big thing. Okay, all right, cool. Okay,
Hold on. Was this
all
me?
about this.
Was it me saying he's responsible or someone else on
You know
the?
what? It was probably more drifty because you know
Yeah.
he's kind of like Klopp and he's extra
Yeah,
loyal to
dragging my
these
name
guys.
through the mud here.
And
No, I mean,
Henderson will drop a 3 out of 10, and Drifty will still give him an 8 because he's Captain Hendo, right? But I told everyone this because I saw it with Leeds United too, where we needed, if you want to keep playing this rock and roll football, this high press football, you need to refresh the players because any system can work as long as you got the players. But what happens is you've fallen behind, much like us. We only got rid of Mateus Click in January 2023. You still have James Milner and Jordan Henderson as starters in 2023. It's the same kind of thing. So now, if Klopp is asking the board for backing and they say no, then that's a different story. But Klopp, we've only seen this week about the Jude Bellingham stuff and everything else. He's pretty much, well, if we can't get him, we'll get somebody else. He's not actually, obviously he's not going to come out and say, I wish we get Jude Bellingham. These owners are crap or anything else like that. But you'd hope that even if publicly saying no, behind the scenes he's still going to FSG, please make this work. This can be a big reason how we can get back to the top. Because I'm sorry, guys, but Harvey Elliott, these kind of guys aren't going to take you where you want to go. And it's these margins are the reasons why you didn't do a triple, quadruple last season.
Kagey, I can't disagree. I'm in a bit of hot water with a lot of the Liverpool fan base at the moment because I'm of the thought process that Klopp isn't blameless in this situation. Like, again, my dislike for FSG and how much I want them out, but I can't sit there and see someone drawing on the wall and then blame someone else for doing it. Like, Klopp's been doing a madness this season. Look, I personally think Klopp only saw it that we needed one midfielder last summer as opposed to a centre-back, 3 midfielders and another attacker. So I think he went all in on Jude last season. I think he's seen this season and had to reanalyze. So I think the budget is there for Jude if we just only wanted Jude, but we need more than Jude. So I actually think the club are probably being a bit smarter than just saying, right, Klopp, you go and take Jude and the rest will have to fall into place. When we need 3 midfielders, we need a centre back and we need an attacker. Spending most of the budget, if not all the budget on Jude, would be negligent at this point, and it would actually work out in the wrong way. But dare I say that to Liverpool fans, because
but what I will say, Callum, is don't settle for it like Conor Gallagher. He should be going places where we are. He's like a mid-table kind of player. He's not where you're trying to go to. And even Klopp now, I see it a lot now with Klopp now. Even more Liverpool fans are questioning him even after everything is done, because the blemishes, the faults are starting to come to light. But I remember us talking about it before when you was having that year of injury problems. And even in the game, that meant nothing.
What was this about?
When injuries was first created, when you guys had them. No, but remember that needless Champions League game that you had, and he played Jota for no reason.
Yeah,
that's what even I was like, why did he play him in that game? And you guys couldn't give me an answer. And we was talking about it on the panel, but it's the loyalty thing. And Bielsa was the exact same way. And I do believe if Bielsa was still here, we'd still have Liam Cooper starting. We'd still have Mateus Click starting, because these guys, they get loyal to these players that give them so much. And in one way you can understand it, but you got to understand it in another way. Like Alex Ferguson, he was the best at it. Wait a minute, you look like you're declining here a little. It's time to move you out. And that's how I want my managers to be.
Completely agree. And we've not seen that enough. I got to ask this question though from Mark A. Shout out to Mark A. Would you wouldn't do us a solid, no?
No, man, no. It's things like this that get you in trouble. And believe me, there are Leeds fans, the passion merchants that would take him back. They're not seeing the Milner that gets run past and takes a yellow card every game because he can't keep up with the pace no more. That's what I see. I would not want him back. No. If we're going to get out the predicament we're in, we need better also.
Well, let's speak a little bit about your predicament. So you're sitting 16th in the league at the moment, 2 points above the relegation. In the last 5, you've drawn 1, won 2, and lost 2. This season as a whole, you've changed your manager. You brought in some new players at the beginning of the season. You two have had injuries. How have you seen this season? Has this season gone how you expected it, or is it gone a lot worse than you thought it would?
No, it's not gone as we expected at all. Like I was expecting mid-table mediocrity. I was expecting just to sit there, be bored by February because we're not going to get relegated. We're not looking for Europe. It's just going to be a mediocre season, especially after last year. And it's gone the complete other way. We're back in a relegation battle. And by the way, isn't it? You understand now, even though you're not in a relegation battle, the group chat's kind of quiet, isn't it? When you're not doing so well, isn't it? Now you understand. Yeah. Last year you were giving me like, oh, he's hiding. Well, I don't see you guys' name pop up that much no more.
My schedule's very busy, bro. I'm not really a
Yeah,
football man like that either. Like,
But
I just
yeah,
do
I
this
mean,
job. Like,
well, I told
I
you
hear
when your team's not doing well, there's not much chest you can puff out, is there? There's not much you can say. You know what I mean? But yeah, it hasn't been good. I mean, defensively, it's still poor. I mean, Melier is our goalkeeper who is rated at 30 million, which is great for us, but he's 100 appearances in and still acting a little bit young in goal. And that's where I worry in this game, because Nunes loves to pick corners and he doesn't usually hit them. If he goes against Melier, sometimes the ball will hit his hand and go in. You know what I mean? Sometimes Melier one-on-one is fantastic, but when there's a crowd of bodies in the way, I don't know what it is, but he gets his positioning wrong and it goes through him. Defensively, we've had issues. The thing is, we've down the bottom of the table, and it's so weird. We've got some of the best like attackers in the bottom half. Nanto, Sinistera, Rodrigo's on 11 goals this year. He's really showing up for us.
Yeah.
But at this point in time, Javi Gracia is benching Nanto and Rodrigo and playing Bamford, who shouldn't even be in the Prem. I mean, look how long I've been saying this, Cal. You know, and I got stick for this. You know, when he got 17 league goals and Arsenal, Tottenham were interested, and I said, sell. The amount of Leeds fans that said, you what, sell a 17 goal? Oh, you don't know anything. But a couple of them came back and apologized, which I do appreciate.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, if you ain't got the foresight, if you ain't got the vision, I understand. But it was quite obvious that season was an anomaly, and there was no fans as well, which helps him. A couple of our players are confidence players, and as we saw against Palace, they can crumble quick. They can crumble quick when the pressure's on.
That Palace game, what happened that day, man? Because Palace haven't been having a great season themselves. Roy Hodgson getting 5 against a team is kind of unheard of as well. What went wrong that day?
We do that though. There's a thing called Spursy and there's a thing called Leedsy, and we did that in abundance in that game. Yeah. Jordan Ayew getting 2 goals, unheard of. Yeah. Gahey's first goal since 2021. Elise breaking the open play assist for a teenager, 3 assists. Edouard getting a goal. That's what we do. If you're one of your players, like if Nunes scored a hat trick on Monday, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me one bit, because that's what we do. We give out gifts, and that kind of thing has got to stop. It was just capitulation. Their heads went down at 1-1. So we're in the lead 1-0. They equalize on a set piece, and their heads went down at 1-1. That's an awful mentality to have, and it kind of gives you a little snapshot of our season so far.
No, I hear it. Well, we've got to rewind before we fast forward. Last time we played each other was at Anfield. Everyone speaks on Virgil. Look at the smile coming through. But everyone talks about Virgil van Dijk's record at Anfield in the Prem. Hadn't lost with Liverpool since he had joined in the Premier League. The only other team to beat us at Anfield this season, if I'm not mistaken, also wore white, but they're the European champions.
You guys, difference.
You came to Anfield and you got the win. Explain that feeling, and do you think that was a catalyst in Liverpool's downfall this season as well?
No, I don't think it was that. I don't think you've been good pretty much most of the season, so I don't think it's just that. But if we're talking 2 years ago, we're not going to Anfield and winning. Again, it's because of the squad regeneration that hasn't happened. That's the only reason why I believe that we got something there. Because otherwise, nothing else in our season tells me we should be beating Liverpool away. I know we got a good result against Chelsea at the start of the year, but again, Chelsea are down in 11th themselves. We got a draw at Man United, but that was like new manager bounce, if you will. I see somebody there mentioning Luke Ayling. Oh my days. But yeah, I mean that win, I actually did a watch long for that, and I couldn't believe it when it went in. So when Somerville scored, couldn't believe it, and that's when Somerville was on a real hot patch as well. Nanto and Somerville were just cooking together. It was beautiful to watch.
Aronson as
Obviously
well.
not for you.
Aronson as well.
Yeah. Aronson again. He's one of those that I think Klopp would like because he just presses a lot. And Javi Gracia has said that himself. He says he's not getting goals and assists. He's trying too hard, but he presses from the front. And I mean that's all well and pretty, but I need people to give me some goal contributions as well. He's not a bad player, but since the international tournament and he didn't get picked so much for the USA, his confidence has kind of gone down and his form's gone down with it. So it's kind of a mix of both there. But yeah, that win was sensational, man. It was amazing, and obviously, you see all the memes and Virgil van Dijk and everything else like that is, never dribble pass, never last, and we broke that.
Yeah, it was a great result for you guys. Liverpool, on the other hand, we are sitting 8th in the league at the moment, 12 points off top 4, 1 win in our last 5. It's bad at the moment for Liverpool. I got to ask you the question. I think I know your answer, but I still got to ask you so that people can hear it verbally. Do you think Liverpool will get top 4 this season? And if no, do you think we'll get any European football?
Oh man, top 4. I don't know, man. I think the inconsistency that you guys are showing says you shouldn't, but we've also seen before in previous years when Arsenal weren't that consistent, they get 4th. You know what I mean? So it's not impossible. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it's looking unlikely. And I don't know if the club itself would want to see themselves in the Europa Conference League. So I'm not sure if that's something that they would even want to entertain as well. I know that sounds, throwing it away like don't get that place in the league, but can you imagine that Liverpool UEFA Conference League? I couldn't picture that.
I couldn't either. I came out a couple of weeks ago and I can't remember who commented, so apologies because you do deserve credit for this comment. But I came out and I said, look, I know it's going to sound arrogant, but I don't want Europa and I don't want Conference and I only want Champions League. I've actually gone back based on the comment I saw on our channel. And again, apologies, I can't remember who it was. I will go back and find it and give you credit because I think you deserve it. And the person called me out and was like, I can't sit here and moan about our players only getting up for big games and turn around and say, oh, I don't want Europe unless it's Champions League. That, again, I hold my hands up. I was wrong for taking that approach. At this point in the season, I don't think we'll get Champions League. But you know what? I do still think we should try and go for a European competition. And the reason I say that, I've got to look at the bigger picture. Some of the players like your Simicast, your Kelleher's and players like that, Calvin Ramsey, Carvalho, players who haven't been getting game time, who, in my opinion, need it. I think that would be perfect and a great platform to actually let those players go out and express themselves. There's less pressure on it, but it's still a European competition. So they get the experience of traveling. They get the experience of playing against hostile crowds and hostile environments. I am now on board with us getting Conference or Europa. Obviously, I'll bite your hand off for Champions League. I just don't think it's going to happen. But I do retract that, and I really do actually want a European competition now, and I actually want Europa as opposed to Conference because I do think it will allow our players to sort of boost themselves and potentially see what we've got to work with squad-wise as well. But speaking of squad, providing you stay in the Premier League, which again, I actually think Leeds will stay in the Premier League because I do think the teams below you, they are so bad that I do think you'll scrape it. I know it's a little early, but what in the summer would you like to see realistically from your club to make it so that you become mid-table?
Straight away defenders, and again, Cole. Some of the players that are just not good enough to be here, whether that be a Bamford, whether that Luke Ayling. Oh my days, we got some of the worst right backs in the league. No, he is the worst right back in the league. Listen, against Crystal Palace, he lost possession 32 times from right back. How do you do that?
Trent's done that a couple of times still.
I don't know about 32, Cal. But the thing is with Trent, though, he's trying to ping balls.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, Luke can't do that.
Yeah,
right. These are simple passes that he's not completing. So we definitely need defenders. That's essential for me. And also, I would sell Meslier. And if you know what hype can do. Hype is beautiful when it works in your favor. If we can get 30 million for Meslier and go and get a better goalkeeper, which we can for 8 to 10 million, do it straight away.
Yeah.
straight away, without question. For me, we've got to improve the defense. I need real leaders back there. And I was wrong about somebody so far. He hasn't proved me right. Pascal Struijk, who I thought would be, linked to you right now, Man City. I
Yeah.
thought he'd be getting to these kind of levels where he's linked to bigger clubs. He's nowhere near it. Nowhere near it. He's part of the clan that is confidence based. The mentality just isn't there. So for me, I need real defenders in there come the summertime.
I hear it. I think everyone knows what we need predominantly in at Liverpool, so I'm not gonna beat that
You
drum
need a
anymore.
new engine. Yeah. That engine. I told you that engine was breaking down 2 years ago, but no one wanted to listen. You know what I mean?
The thing is, I fully remember when you started speaking about Henderson, and yeah, I mean, you were saying, you weren't saying to sell him though. To be fair, you were saying he needs to be phased out of the first team.
Yes, that's exactly. See, Carl, you remember?
No,
See,
but I said the same. I said the same thing in Matt and Drift.
No.
Drift.
You guys all looked at me like, what is he on top? That's Captain Hendo.
I promise you, before the season started, when we got all the injuries, I said I want us to go to a 4-2-3-1, and I'd have Fabinho and Thiago as my double pivot and Bobby in the 10. And bro, I kid you not, I had to get a ring camera installed and all that. Drifty was moving mad on camera and off camera. I thought, yeah, Drifty's gonna get me in the family one of these days because I've stepped over the line. But I think you've been vindicated, to be honest, Kagey. I don't think we still need to sell Henderson, but he needs to be a player that's a bit part player and phased out.
You think of it again like the Mark Noble role. He can do that kind of thing for you.
Yeah.
Play sparingly, but then you have your main players. I mean, somebody here, by the way, Verber's been brilliant. I don't know if he's going to be back for this game, but yeah, he's been a really good signing for us at the back. But also Lavia, like he's going to be above the level that we're going to be, even if Southampton go down, because obviously a lot of big teams looking at him. But he's a wonderful talent. That's somebody else that you could look to get, especially if Southampton get relegated.
Yeah, completely agree. So moving forward to this game coming up, what would be your starting 11 against Liverpool at Elland Road?
Well, our manager is pretty coy with injury news, which is pretty good because we've had 2 managers before that just love to give out injury news and starting lineup sometimes. So, yeah, I mean, I'd have to stick with Meslier in goal, Firpo left back, Verber if he's fit, Robin Koch, always a funny one on this channel. You always love that one. Yeah. And Christensen at right back. And let me tell you, Christensen is no better than Ayling, but Ayling has made way too many mistakes. It's time for some new mistakes there. Weston McKennie, Mark Rucker, Willie Nanto central, Sinistera, and Harrison to start on the right, and Rodrigo up front. Yeah.
Fair dues. So here's a starting 11 that I'd go for, but I'm almost certain Klopp won't. So I'd go, obviously, Alisson in goal, Trent right back. No, in fact, I would actually. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't go Trent right back. If this was me doing it, I wouldn't go Trent right back. I'd go Gomez right back. I'd go Konate and Virgil, and I'd go Tsimikas left back. I'd go Fabinho in midfield. At the base, I'd get Thiago on the left, and I'd go Trent on the right. And then I would go with Salah on the right, Nunes through the middle, and Jota from the left, or Gakpo from the left. But I don't think we'll do that. I think it'll be Gakpo through the middle, Nunes on the left, Salah on the right. I think Trent will start right back, and I think Henderson will start with Fabinho and one other. So,
isn't it quite funny though? I think he will play Gakpo for revenge reasons. I think that Gakpo is going to get a little reception at Elland Road because for whatever reason we were trying to sign him. I don't know if you know this. yeah, and he wasn't sure. Yeah, he wasn't sure, quite rightly so as well, by the way. So I think he's gonna get a little bit of a reception because even though he never played for us, once you score on us, if you don't want us, you're gonna get booed, kind of thing. Yeah. I'm sure he'll have a little bit of motivation to play Monday night as well.
This was last summer, right? How much were you guys willing to pay for him? Or did you actually put in a bid and all that?
Yeah, because they did everything. I remember Jesse Marr saying that they spoke to him. They took a plane over. I think it was near the end of the transfer window. So, and I think the fee was something like 40-something million.
And you guys
something like that. Yeah. But you know what? We lucked out anyway because we got Nanto. So I'm happy with that.
So again, I've got. I hate to put you in this predicament, but I've got to ask you because you're a neutral in this situation. Again, I'm not the biggest Gakpo fan. I'm not the biggest Nunes fan. Do you think those two players were the right players for Liverpool? I know hindsight's beautiful, but seeing what you've seen, do you think they're the right players?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was pretty obvious from the start. The Nunes one wasn't right. You know, it was one good year, and then you paid like through the nose. I didn't understand that one, but the Gakpo one on top of it just made it like, well, what is it that you're actually trying to do? Who are you trying to replace in your front lineup? Because you've got a lot of options up there once everyone's fit, once Diaz is fit and Jota comes back. You've got a lot of options. Firmino is obviously going this summer, so that's fair. But I don't know, man. I think you could have done better. I don't know if Gakpo is going to work long term. He looks like he doesn't. Does he look like he's got that dog in him?
Okay, this is why I've been behind the scenes where I've been trying to recruit you as a Liverpool fan. You know, I don't even want to speak about behind the scenes stuff on camera, but this is why I've been trying to recruit. So here's the thing: if you gave Nunes Gakpo's technical ability and gave Gakpo Nunes's like mentality, I think you'd have two phenomenal players. But it's like you probably need them both to play together in a front two, because Nunes for me is a little deficient in some of the technical aspects. But Gakpo I keep on saying it, with the ball at his feet and stuff, he does some nice things. He's got some nice touches. I don't see that aggression though in terms of defending or attacking. I remember when Mane would get on the ball and his first thing that he'd do is look up and say, "Can I attack?" Salah, the same thing. Can I attack? Like, I'm not seeing that from him. It seems as though he's a little fearful to do something that's gonna ruffle the other team, and it's like, I don't know. Here's the thing: I've changed my tune a little bit on Nunes. I think Nunes will become much better. I just don't know if we have that time to wait in terms of what we want to achieve. Gakpo, I'm still not sure what we're going to be doing with Gakpo, because this whole playing as a false nine thing, I'm not a fan of. Like, we bought Nunes so we didn't have to play false nine, and then we've now bought someone to come and play false nine. You've still got Jota there, who's effectively meant to be our striker as well. It's a bit weird. It's a bit weird.
Yeah. It's real weird squad building in that you had that 30-something million and you could have got a midfielder with it, and you got another forward when you stacked in the forward position. So, but yeah. I mean, obviously it's their first year. See what they do next season and see if there's any improvements. You'd hope there will be for your sake. Otherwise, it's an expensive mistake.
Precisely. Well, Kagey, before we let you go, first and foremost, guys, please do smash the like button, but more importantly, click the link in the title, head to Kagey's channel and subscribe. On the road to 10K. Let's make sure we help get him there as soon as possible. Score predictions, bro. What are you thinking?
Well, they need to bounce back after the 5-1. Gracia said they've done a lot of work and everything else. That's all good. Talk is good and everything else like that. But I need to see results. So I'm gonna go for an optimistic 1-1.
Okay. For the first time in a little while, I'm predicting the Liverpool win. I'm going 3-1 Liverpool. I don't think it'll be an easy game. I think the scoreline may flatter us, but I think 3-1. I think we should touch wood. We should have enough to get the win in this game, and we need it. We need results.
How the mighty have fallen, eh?
I know.
We should have enough to beat little old Leeds. Wow.
You remember how I was last season? I was like, yep, wherever we go, I'm down. Now I'm sitting there telling you I'm worried about Liverpool. I really am. This summer's massive. The rest of the season, I think, is actually massive. And next season, I'm worried, but I'm going with 3-1. But Kagey, have you got anything coming up? Is there anything you want to plug, tell the people about so we can go and support?
No, man, nothing happening. You've already plugged the channel enough and everything else like that. Always doing previews, match reactions, and everything else in between. I think I did 3 streams this week after the 5-1 Palace defeat, and just to talk through it, therapy and everything else like that. So yeah, nothing to plug, but yeah, listen, shout out to everyone in the Kop-Ish community, man.
Kagey, it's always a pleasure having you on, man. We have to do this more often, and God willing, you stay in the league so we can still do this. And you know, even if you get relegated, we still have you on, man, because it's worth it. But you won't. You'll stay up. You will stay up. People, make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't. Also, we'll be back on Monday for the live game watch along. That means we'll reschedule, so our Monday show will be on Tuesday. So make sure you click the notification bell, follow us on social media. Once again, massive shout out to Kagey for getting up and doing this preview of us this morning. And people, until we see you next time, have a great rest of the weekend. Liverpool can't ruin the weekend, people. Until we see you on Monday, stay safe, stay blessed, take care.